All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. So topographic maps show the shape and the elevation of the land. So here you have, let's say, these are two mountains or two hills, and you see that they rise up to a peak, okay? Well, the maps are going to show the elevation and the shape. So elevation, that means how high above sea level, okay? And then the shape of the land. So what is it? If it's flat, it's going to show it a little bit flatter. If it's round, you're going to show it a little bit rounder, okay? So here you can see that this one comes to a point, and then this one is not as pointy, not as steep. So on the map, you're going to see that it's kind of spread out. We're going to talk more about that. This one you see because it's steeper. You can see that it's kind of closer, the lines are closer together. Again, we're going to learn about that. But now what you guys are going to do is just by looking at the map, okay, you're going to match the correct landmass. So what I want you to do is think about, envision if you were floating above the landmass, how would it look? Because basically a topographic map is that view downwards, that bird eye view. So here we can look that D matches with number 3. So I'm just going to drag and drop that one. So D matches with 3. And you can see that it has 2 peaks, and the peaks are kind of flat. So again, if I were to float above, if I were a bird above this, it would look something like this. Okay? Let's do another one together. All right? And so let's go ahead and let's look at number 1. So number 1, I'm looking for 2 peaks because again, if I were floating on top, it looks like, oh, okay, I'm going to have like 2 little peaks or 2 tops. And it looks like this one's going to be a skinnier top. Okay, so if I look at all my land masses, I only have these 2, okay, A and B. And if I were to float over that, okay, if I were to float over these, the one that would look the closest to number 1 would be B. So I'm going to grab this and I'm just going to drag it over, okay? And so what you guys are going to do is you're going to continue doing the rest on your own, okay? So again, just try to imagine yourself if you were floating above that landmass, how would that look from above? Because that's what a topographic map is. At this time, guys, go ahead and pause the video. And then when you're ready to move on, hit play. So now we're going to talk about contour lines and intervals, okay? So a contour line are the lines on the map that indicate the same elevation on land. Okay, so remember the word elevation means height above sea level. So everything on that line is going to be the same. So for example, the red point. So if I look at the red dot right here, okay, I see that it's going to be 1,100 meters because right there it says 1,100 meters. So this whole line here, anything on this line is going to be equal to that. If I look at the green point, it's going to be 1,200 meters. And again, on that line, anything on this line, all the way over here, okay, it's going to be equal to that. And then the blue point is going to be equal to 1,300 because, again, anything on that line is going to be equal, anything on that contour line. Contour interval is the difference between 2 contour lines, okay? So contour intervals are important because they're on every single map, and they tell you how much you're going to go up, okay, or how much you're going to go down to each line, okay? And the easiest way to solve this is if you subtract these two. So if I subtract 20 and 10, because I want to know how much did I have to travel between those 2 lines, if I subtract that, the contour interval of this map is 10, okay? So every time I move to the next line, I'm going to add 10. So it's always going to be the same, it's always going to be equal, okay? So 10 plus 10 is 20, and then if I add another 10 to that 20, I get 30, add 10 again, 40, add 10 again, get 50, okay? And so now what you guys are going to do here is you're going to practice that. So you're going to answer the questions using this map. So elevation at point A is it should be 4,000. Glad I caught that. It's 4,000 feet, okay? Well, the way that I know this is the contour interval on my map, it tells me, and majority of the maps are going to tell you the contour interval. I believe in every single star test, they always tell you the contour interval. So here it's 100. So every time I'm going to add 100, okay? Oh, wait, no. I know what I did wrong. This is going to be 340. Okay. So here we're going to 3040. Add 100, so this is going to be 3000. And then the next line is going to be 3100, 3200, 3300, and then 3400. Okay, so you're adding 100 each time. All right. Elevation for point B. Well, now I see that it's below this. So I'm going to subtract 100. So the elevation for point B is going to be 2000. Okay. And then remember, since you're subtracting, it's going to be 2,900 feet. Okay, because I'm going to subtract that 100 from this because that's how much I'm going down. So you're going to do questions 3, 4, and 5 on your own. So at this time, go ahead and pause the video, and when you're ready to move on, click play. Now we're going to talk about steep and gentle slopes on a map, okay? So steep slopes, if we look at this example here, steep slopes on a map will have contour lines that are closer together. So we can see that like right here on this side, on the east side of this little mountain or hill, of this mountain, this would be harder for us to climb. So steep, we're talking about something that's going to be a little bit more difficult to climb, okay? Probably don't want to build anything here because it can be very difficult to build any houses or buildings. So steep slopes, if you look at a map, so again, if we look on the east side, we see that it's closer together. The lines are closer together. Gentle slopes, so now I'm down here, on a map will have contour lines that are spread out. Okay, so they're going to be further out. A gentle slope, this is going to be like, again, you're climbing up a mountain, but it's going to be now easier to climb. So this is probably where if you were going to build a house or some sort of building, some sort of structure, this is probably the easiest place to build, to get those materials up there. Okay. And then on a map, so if you look at a map, you can see like, oh, right here, this is spread out. These lines are spread out, so this tells me that it's a gentle slope. So you're going to get some practice on your own now. It says, answer the questions using the map. First question, where can you find the steepest slope on the hill? How do you know this? Use the map and the compass to help you. And then you have 2 sentence starters. The steepest slope can be found, and then you're going to tell me where. And then how do you know this? How do you know it's steep? And again, use your notes. When you're answering this, you want to use your directions north, east, south, west. Okay. If you really feel like confident about it, you can always also do your northwest, northeast, southwest. And then the second question, where can you find the gentlest slope on this hill? How do you know this? Use the map and the compass to help you. The gentlest slope can be found, and then you're going to tell me where can you find the gentlest slope on this mountain or on this hill. And then how do you know this? By looking at this, what was your clue? What was the proof of a gentle slope? Okay. Go ahead and hit pause on the video, and when you are ready to move on, go ahead and hit play. Thank you. So as I said in the beginning of this, this unit is very heavy with new vocabulary. And so what you're going to do is for each phrase, for each word, you're going to type in something that you've learned. Make sure you're providing details. I have noticed lately that some of us, not all, but some of us are putting like 1 or 2 words, and that doesn't tell me you learned it, okay? So try to provide as much detail as possible on topographic map, contour line, contour interval, gentle slope, steep slope. And as usual, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you are still having to complete this assignment, make sure, and you need additional help, make sure that you rewatch the video or you ask for help, okay? Either through Remind, well, actually just through Remind. Or if you are not showing up to class and you're working on your own, you should be asking for help. And showing up to class is a way for me to answer those questions. So just, again, make sure you're reaching out and doing what you guys have to do. And if you have any questions, let me know. But by now, you guys should be able to interpret topographic maps. Thank you.